Hello, welcome back. Uh, we're just going to jump right into it. My name is Katza. Thank you for joining for these readings. I really appreciate it. Without further ado, though, I'm just going to hop into it. I'm not going to do my usual spiel. I think that honestly, just listening and learning how it goes, I will give a warning that my readings can sometimes be triggering and they can bring up things that need to be healed. In fact, that's what most of my readings are designed to do. And I will also say that I don't always do readings in the traditional manner. So without further ado, let's just hop into it and see who this is for, this collective. Before I begin, I always say a little prayer. Okay. The very first thing I heard as I was finishing up that prayer was to tell this collective that you need to stop listening to media. There's a number of you in this collective that you're spending way too much time on social media. You're spending way so much time. Oh, I'm not supposed to use this deck. You're spending way too much time on social media. You're spending way too much time on like just listening to news, and you're spending too much time on like scrolling through TikTok and stuff, and being told you need to disconnect from media. You want to find inner peace and connection and spirituality. You're not going to find that through being on the computer all the time. Okay, you're going to find that through disconnecting from technology and going inward. Okay, the answer isn't going to be on your phone. Some of you, okay, we've got transformation and we've got rebirth. Immediately what I'm getting here with these two cards popping up is there is a large number of you who you understand that you are transitioning spiritually into this next phase, or energetically into this next phase, and you are heavily trying not to. You're digging your heels in. This collective, you are there and you're like, no, I'm quite content where I am. Thank you very much. And you are digging your heels in. You're digging them in hard. Okay. This group, you are not. And that's also why I'm being told that's also why you're spending so much time disconnected, is because you're hoping if you're more disconnected, then this process isn't going to happen. But what I'm hearing is that you've already reached the point of no return. Okay, this is something that I talk about on my Instagram page, which I will link down below, is this point of no return. I also have a video on my other YouTube channel where I talk about natural mediumship, and I mention this as well, and about how a lot of teachers fail those who are developing into mediumship or psychic abilities because they don't mention things like this point of no return. This is a situation with this collective where it feels like you were in this development process and you had this goal. You had this goal of where you wanted to be, of where you wanted to end up. And you thought, okay, I've got this goal and I'm going to do this. And that's that. And you thought, okay, you know, I've reached it. That's funny because I'm talking about this goal and I get the success card that just flew out. Okay, like you reached the goal that you had in your mind of, oh, I just want to be able to do this thing. I just want to be able to give psychic readings, and now you can give psychic readings. Or I just want to be able to read tarot, and now you can read tarot. You wanted it to stop there. And what you weren't informed of is that when you start this journey, it doesn't stop there. So now you're in this situation where you're noticing that things are escalating in terms of your spirituality. And you're noticing that things are moving and there's like these changes that are coming, and you're noticing your abilities might be expanding, or you're picking up things, or things are like kind of not cohesive. I'm hearing like they're not the way they used to be, or you're not having to do the same ritual that you used to need to do in order to get into the space to do a reading or to pull out a tarot card or things like that. Or you know the message before the message is coming. Some of you, I'm hearing that one as well, and it's causing you some turmoil because you've reached that. You were where you wanted to be. You've reached that point. You reached that area. You reached that place where, okay, well, I'm there. I don't want to do anything further. I'm at the place. I don't need to do anything further. I'm right there. And spirit and the universe is basically, or God for some of you, is basically saying, hey, you know, this isn't done. You dedicated and now you're committed. We have schizophrenia coming upside down. There's two messages immediately with this one. The first one is you're not crazy. I really want to say that you're not crazy. Some of you are wondering if you are like literally schizophrenic. You're not crazy. Okay. This collective is not crazy. That's not to say that if you think you're having a health problem, you should not get it checked out. Please, if you think you are having an actual health, mental health, or physical health problem, please go check it out. But this card doesn't really talk about schizophrenia in terms of the medical side of it. It's talking about schizophrenia in terms of like society's perception of it, right? You have this fear of being labeled as crazy, right? So you've been like, oh, well, I can read tarot or oracle, and then that's not so crazy. Or I can just give little psychic readings, and that's not going to be labeled so crazy. But now some of the information that some of you are getting is breaching that territory of what you are labeling as crazy. And this collective is really struggling with that. You're really struggling with this expansion of abilities, with this expansion of new information that you're getting and receiving. You're really struggling with trying to sort out how you're going to manage that in your everyday life, how you're going to incorporate it in everyday life. Because in your brain, you had it where, oh, it's just going to stop here. Like, I want it to stop here, so it's going to stop here. What some of you are doing that you're not realizing you're doing. Let me try and see how I can explain this. So I have my phone, okay? They're showing me that some of you are here on your phone and you're scrolling because you think that if you're scrolling through whatever you're scrolling through, some of you it's like Facebook, I think, or Instagram or whatever, you're going to scroll, and then you're going to tune out. But what's happening is that it's putting your brain basically in this meditative state because you're not interacting with anything. So what's happening is in the act of trying to disconnect, you're actually opening yourself up to connect more because you're not engaging with the content. When you're scrolling, you're not engaging with the content. So because there's a lack of concentration and a lack of engagement, what ends up happening is you're basically putting your brain in a semi-meditative state, which is opening you up. But you're hoping that if you're just disconnected and on your phone all the time and you're scrolling, that you're going to end up having to just be able to tune everything out. And what they're telling me is that you're actually doing the opposite. I hope that makes sense. You're actually not knowing in your attempt to shut down, you're actually opening yourself up more, is what I'm hearing. You're actually opening yourself up more. And there's definitely fear here. Some of you have a lot of fear. Some of you, I don't know, some of you fear like you're doing like your tarot readers or your oracle readers or your like psychics and you're fearing spirit. But some of you have this fear that's going on, clinging to the past. Okay. Yeah. Some of you are holding on to old stories. Okay. I was just talking about fear, right? This card came out about clinging to the past, about holding on to these past perceptions of who you are, of what you are, of what you should be. Some of you also have a fear of failure in terms of, oh, I'm going to fail my mom or my dad or my grandpa or my grandma or my aunt or my uncle. Like these people in your life had expectations of what your life was going to be like, and you feel like you're failing them because your life isn't turning into that. And so some of you need to really work through that. Some of you need to really do a lot of introspection. Some of you would really benefit from something like journaling, or even certain types of psychotherapy would be beneficial for some of you if you can invest in that. Some of you, there's a therapist on YouTube. Her name's Katie Morton. I'm told that some of you are going to benefit by going through her YouTube channel. But don't be on your phone when you're doing it. That's interesting. Don't be on your phone when you're doing it. Focus on the thing at hand. Stop trying to multitask so much, because in your attempt to multitask, it keeps putting you in this state of not quite meditation, but you're in between. You know, you're not fully in meditation, but you're not fully present in what it is you're doing either. Okay, I was told 2 more cards, so that was pretty quick. Morality and the creator. Also clinging to the past. Some of you, okay, hold on. There's another message here that's coming through for a sub-collective of this collective, where a group of you have this religious indoctrination of some sort. So you were told that it's against your religion to read tarot, or you were told that this is how things are, and you were told that this is the only right way to do things is if you follow this set of rules, and you're questioning that now. Okay, but you're also trying to hold on to that foundation because that's the only foundation you know. So there's this clinging of the past, of you holding on to these old beliefs and mindsets, but at the same time you're questioning them. And at the same time, then there's this question of morality that's coming up, of what that means to you, and the question of the creator, of God, the concept of God or Allah or Hashem or the universe or the high power or the great creator. Okay, there's a lot of different terms for it, but there's this internal conflict that you're having between what it is you have been developed to do and what it is you were taught to believe. Okay, and you're trying to cling, but you're really struggling with figuring out how to cling to these foundations that you were taught. Specifically, Christianity is coming through for this particular collective. The majority of you are clinging to like the Bible. Well, but the Bible says this. There's a message here of needing to look at things in your own time, needing to look at things yourself, needing to look at things in your own time, needing to really evaluate what is it that you actually believe about the concept of God, the concept of a creator. Do you believe in a creator? Why or why not? And what is it that you actually believe? You know, instead of trying to get caught up in these labels, sitting down and writing out all the things that you know 100% you believe in. And then writing down all the things you absolutely do not believe in. And then writing down all these things that you're not sure where you stand. You're not sure if you believe in it. You aren't sure if you support it or don't support it. You're not sure how you feel about that particular concept. So let me give you an example. For some of you, you're going to be like, I absolutely believe in God. And then you're going to say, I absolutely believe in the concept of the other side. But for some of you, you're going to say, I'm not sure if I believe in a concept of hell. Or I believe in a concept of hell, but not the way I was taught about hell. Okay, so there's going to be there's this needing to really lay it out, really sit down, free from distractions, and really lay it out that this is what I believe, this is what I don't believe, this is what I don't know currently in this moment, that maybe at some point I will see in the future what I feel about it, and this is how it's going to go, and that's okay. And how can I then reconcile what I believe and don't believe with my past? Can I reconcile it with my past? Okay, that's the message that's coming through here. That's the healing part that needs to be done. You already started the journey. This point, keep on going. Keep on trucking. One foot in front of the other, But you need to work through this little bit first, okay? Working through your concept of religion, your concept of faith, tearing down old beliefs, limiting beliefs, mindsets, things like that, and changing how it is that you're going to view that, okay? How it is that you're going to come to that conclusion, what it is that you're going to really believe and not believe, and how you choose to identify or label yourself. And for some of you, you're not going to choose to identify or label yourself at all. And on that note, I'm going to leave it there. That's the message. I wish you all a wonderful week at the time that you see this, or a wonderful day, or a wonderful month, and hell, even a wonderful year. Till next time. Bye.